Hello, soul family. Welcome back to our sacred space, spiritual manifestation. If you're joining us for the first time, I'm thrilled to have you here. To all our returning members of this spiritual family, welcome home. Now, today I'm getting a message that is really specific, and it feels like it's meant for a certain someone out there. I'm just letting it flow today, so you won't see as many cards in this reading. Something deep came through, and I'm just going to roll with it. I'd love to hear how you guys feel about this more freestyle approach, so drop a comment and let me know if it resonates with you. And just a quick note, if I use him or her, remember I'm talking about the energy, divine masculine, divine feminine, whatever fits your situation. I'm excited to see where this takes us today, so let's dive in and see what the universe has in store for you. Now, this is a deeply intriguing message because I sense that you've been closely observed by the energies around you, and they've noticed the incredible work you've been doing. You've been diving deep, really trying to uncover the truth and understand a situation that has been weighing on your heart. It feels like this is connected to a particular relationship, one that's been challenging you to grow and evolve. The guidance you're receiving is a gentle nudge to keep going, to trust in the process, and to know that you're supported every step of the way. Now, I want to say something. This message isn't about handing you all the details or directing you towards specific outcomes. Instead, it's about amplifying the incredible work you're already doing in processing everything that's been happening. The energy around you is offering a new perspective, helping you to dive deeper and gain clarity more quickly. It's like you're being given a new lens to see things more clearly, allowing you to untangle the complexities of this situation with greater ease. And as this unfolds, there's a particular focus, a narrowing in on a divine masculine who plays a significant role in this scenario. The energies are guiding you to look closer, to understand his part in your journey. Now, for many of you, this message is pointing to a divine masculine you're connected with in a relationship. You're trying to make sense of him, to understand what's really going on beneath the surface. It feels like he's left you puzzled, perhaps even a bit lost in trying to figure him out. But for some of you, you might be the man at the center of this energy. Either way, tune into how this resonates with your situation. There's a sense of confusion here, whether it's you trying to understand him or him grappling with his own contradictions. It's like his actions, feelings, and words are out of sync, not flowing together in one clear direction. There's a disconnect, and it's left things feeling unaligned, uncertain. Now, for many of you, I'm hearing that this message is pointing to a divine masculine you're connected with in a relationship. You're trying to make sense of this divine masculine, to understand what's really going on beneath the surface. It feels like he's left you puzzled, perhaps even a bit lost in trying to figure him out. But for some of you, you might be the masculine at the center of this energy. Either way, tune into how this resonates with your situation. There's a sense of confusion here, whether it's you trying to understand him or him grappling with his own contradictions. It's like his actions, feelings, and words are out of sync, not flowing together in one clear direction. There's a disconnect, and it's left things feeling unaligned, uncertain. If you're in a relationship with this divine masculine, you're likely questioning why it seemed like he genuinely cared for you, only for his actions to leave you feeling confused and hurt. You're left wondering who he truly is to you, or who he's meant to be in your life. It's as if you can't quite grasp his essence, not even a little. And the truth is, I sense he's just as lost in understanding himself in this context. There's a deep uncertainty, both within him and in how you perceive him, creating this perplexing energy between you. Now, the energies are guiding you to gain a deeper understanding of this divine masculine by looking at his actions and behavior through the lens of a familiar dynamic. Let's call it the idealization confusion complex. While I can't say the exact term here, I trust you'll know what I'm referring to, as it's very much present in this divine masculine's energy. This would be a challenging conversation to have directly, and honestly, it's something he needs to realize on his own. The words that would define this complex have very specific meanings, and because of that, he might not associate himself with them. This is a divine masculine who sees himself in a certain light, likely tied to his personality and how he presents himself to the world. But beneath that, there's another layer, a different way of being that he's been subtly conditioned into, even if he's not fully conscious of it. I sense that the way this divine masculine has been subtly indoctrinated into this idealization confusion complex is through a hidden, almost insidious route. It feels like it's woven into the fabric of something larger he was already conditioned into, whether that's culture, tradition, or religion. This isn't something that's overt or easily recognizable. It's more like an undercurrent, something that's seeped in quietly, almost unnoticed. If I were to speak directly to him about this, I sense that using certain terms might cause him to shut down, to stop processing, because these words carry so much weight and preconceived notions. He believes he knows what they mean, and they come with a lot of emotional and cultural baggage, making it hard for him to remain open. This complex seems to be tied to a patriarchal perspective, where the goals and viewpoints of the divine masculine are centered, while the feminine energy is pushed to the periphery, almost sidelined. But it's not done overtly, and certainly not with any conscious intention to harm. He would never consciously agree to something like misogyny. Rather, it's as if these ideas were subtly slipped in, almost like a side effect of him fully embracing something else without questioning it. And deep down, you might already have an inkling of what that is. I sense that with this divine masculine, you won't easily overcome this hurdle through conversation alone. This isn't something that can be talked through or resolved with words, and that brings us to the deeper message that's coming through. The truth is, unraveling this issue, something deeply connected to his understanding of women, is central to his karma in this lifetime. It's about breaking through old patterns and beliefs that have been ingrained in him, particularly when it comes to women. He doesn't truly understand women. His perspective is quite limited and narrow, yet he believes he has a solid grasp on women, that he interacts well with them, and that he understands and appreciates them. But here's where we need to delve deeper. I'm not suggesting he's a terrible person or entirely misguided, but we do need to unpack what he actually means by these things. It's important to recognize that we all use words that carry different meanings depending on our experiences and perceptions. So, while he might say he understands or likes women, what he means by those words could be vastly different from what you or others might interpret. This is where the real work lies, in peeling back the layers and understanding what's truly at the core of his beliefs and actions. I often like to use the concept of partnership, as it's something we all think about, but everyone has their own unique take on it. When you talk about partnership with someone, it's important to ask, what does that really mean to you? For some, it's about companionship or shared goals, while for others, it's a sacred journey of growth and union. So, when we use words like partnership, we need to understand what those words truly signify for each of us. Now, when this divine masculine believes he's good with women, that he understands them and treats them well, what he actually means might be something quite different. And if you were to dig deeper and try to label it, you'd likely face resistance. In truth, what he's good at might be more about leveraging his interactions with women to get what he wants, rather than truly appreciating or understanding them. It's a very different thing. You don't need to have a deep, authentic connection to take advantage of something, and that's the crux of what's happening here. The real question is, what does he actually mean when he talks about his relationship with women? Yeah, that's where the true insight lies. I'm thinking of a scene from Avatar where the humans come to Pandora, claiming they're fascinated by the planet's beauty and unique resources. Take the character Colonel, for example. He talks about how incredible Pandora is, how amazing its ecosystem and resources are. But in reality, his admiration is shallow. He's there to extract the planet's resources, to take what he can without any real respect for the land or its inhabitants. He doesn't truly love Pandora. He loves what he can get out of it, the power and profit that come from exploiting it. There's a moment where the Colonel might say something like, "This world is magnificent," but his actions are all about destruction and control. He's not interested in understanding the avatars or the sacred connection they have with their environment. He's only interested in what Pandora can offer him materially. These are two entirely different perspectives. You don't need a deep connection or understanding to exploit something effectively, and I sense that this divine masculine operates in a similar way. He's skilled at getting what he wants, but that doesn't mean he truly values or understands what he's dealing with. When I say he's good at getting what he wants from women, I don't just mean, you know what? I'm talking about how he's skilled at eliciting the reactions he desires. He knows how to make women laugh when he wants them to, how to shape their perception of him to fit the image he wants to project. He's good at that manipulation, but that's a far cry from having a true, deep understanding of women. His view is still quite limited, almost surface level, and this connects to his tendency to place women into neat little categories, rather than seeing them as complex individuals. It's really a shame when it comes to people, because each person is like a universe unto themselves. Every individual is unique, with countless qualities and characteristics that make them who they are. That uniqueness is what makes intimate relationships so special. It's what enriches our lives in profound ways. But in reality, we can only form truly deep, intimate connections with a few people, right? That's because we don't have an endless reservoir of energy to be completely open and vulnerable with everyone we encounter. Now, he's been subtly guided to take a different approach when it comes to women. This ties into his ability to exploit situations, getting whatever he wants from a woman in the moment. Whether it's about shaping how she sees him, hiding certain aspects of himself, or framing his behavior in a way that suits his narrative, he's skilled at steering these interactions. But this approach lacks depth and authenticity. It often involves placing women into neat little categories, reducing them to simplified roles rather than seeing them in their full complexity. And this tendency to categorize women often ties back to that familiar dynamic, where he separates women into distinct, limited roles rather than embracing their full, nuanced realities. Okay, I'm getting a message, and it's coming through with a deep clarity. It's like when someone suddenly shifts their perspective, realizing, oh, I saw you in one light, but now I see there's so much more to you, and that's how you've reached where you are. There's a sense of karmic lessons intertwined here, almost like navigating a dense forest where every step matters. Some paths are clear, while others are tangled and hidden. All right, I'm going to shuffle the standard tarot deck now to get more insight into these central figures, these key players in the divine masculine's life. We're not just talking about the supporting roles here. We're diving into the heart of the matter, the two titans who hold the most influence, and where the most significant lessons are ready to emerge. Let's see what the cards have to reveal about these powerful connections and the energies surrounding them. Okay, we have the Queen of Wands. This card immediately brings to mind a powerful energy, and it aligns perfectly with what I'm picking up. This ties directly into the karmic lesson here. One of these central figures is what I'd call the Empress. She's the woman who holds a commanding presence in the divine masculine's life. For him, she's everything: soulmate, twin flame, the whole package. This connection between them is genuine. There's real love and undeniable chemistry. Her heart is fully invested in this relationship. Okay. Interestingly, I'm getting something else here, and I'm hearing that things aren't entirely straightforward, as there's another figure in the mix, a rival, creating a triangle of energies. There's another rival here who presents herself in a way that seems almost identical on the surface. I'm gonna shuffle again and... Okay, we've pulled the Seven of Swords. This card fits perfectly with the energy we're picking up. The Seven of Swords is all about deception, trickery, and hidden agendas. It's like that scene from Snow White where the evil queen disguises herself, trying to appear harmless when, in reality, she's anything but. This rival, much like the false twin or dark empath we've been discussing, is using these same tactics. They might seem similar to the genuine connection on the surface, but it's all an illusion. The Seven of Swords here is a clear warning that their intentions aren't what they seem. There's no real emotion involved, just a carefully crafted facade designed to manipulate and deceive. This card is highlighting the need to be cautious and aware of the true nature of this person. Let's dive into the energy surrounding what I'm sensing as the Empress here, because this soulmate connection is something powerful, something that's going to completely shatter the way this divine masculine categorizes women. Wow, I'm hearing that this woman is going to challenge every narrow view he has. She's not going to fit neatly into the boxes he's used to. And for him, that's going to be incredibly difficult to grasp. It's going to force him to confront the reality that he's been seeing women in a very limited, almost flat way. Now, whether she embodies more of the nurturing traditional side or she expresses herself in a way that defies those expectations is something we'll need to feel into. If she aligns with what he sees as the ideal, maybe they share certain values or a common background, and that's genuine. But here's the twist: she's not one-dimensional. She's likely someone who embraces all aspects of herself, who's not afraid to be bold, to own her desires. And that's where he might get thrown off. He might start to question, wait, if you're this perfect partner, why are you also this other way? It could cause him to panic, to want to force her into a different category because he can't handle the fullness of who she is. He's not yet able to hold space for a woman who refuses to be defined by just one aspect, who lives beyond the confines of his limited perspective. She's searching for a true partner, someone who can genuinely meet her where she's at. Her heart is deeply involved with this divine masculine, but she's hesitant to fully give herself to him unless he proves that he's worthy of that trust, that he understands the precious gift he's been handed. She's like a delicate treasure, and she needs to know he values her for all that she is. Yet, there's this whole dynamic at play, this deeply ingrained mindset where he might have tried to put her in a box, to categorize her in a way that suits his limited view. Maybe he's even acted out, played games, trying to force her into a role that doesn't fit her essence. This worldview of his is tough to unravel, especially because it's so tied to how he sees womanhood as a whole. He might think all women fit into certain molds, and that's something he struggles to see beyond. If you were to try and discuss this with him directly, you'd have to tread carefully. His beliefs are deeply set, almost like a defense mechanism. He might brush off your concerns with, "Oh, that's just how it is," or "That's just the way things are." He's got these categories fixed in his mind, but it's not as simple as saying he thinks all women are the same. He's aware of their differences. He knows how to navigate those differences to get what he wants. But there's something deeper, something fundamental in his perception of womanhood that just doesn't align with reality. He sees women through a lens that doesn't capture their full, complex nature, and that's where the real challenge lies. Now, let's delve into the energy of this dark soulmate, this false twin, or however you want to name it. This person is someone who, in a twisted way, might have bested the divine masculine at his own game. I'm hearing that she's outplayed him in the realm of exploitation. He's now faced with a mirror, staring at someone who might be better, or at least more cunning, at this game of manipulation. There's no genuine emotion from her toward him. She doesn't truly care for him. But will she let him see that? Absolutely not. She's a master at making him believe her heart is fully invested, crafting an illusion so convincing that he's left questioning nothing. She exudes a similar energy to the Empress, in that she too defies categorization, but her motives are far more insidious. She's intentionally manipulating him, pulling him into her web with calculated precision. Her defiance of these categories is deliberate, and it's going to resonate with his deeply ingrained patriarchal ideals. It's like she's playing right into the script of what society expects, a twisted reflection of the burden placed on women to be everything at once. I'm the nurturer, the seductress, the strength and the support, all while making you believe you're the center of my world. She embodies that distorted ideal, defying categories in a way that ultimately serves the patriarchy, reflecting back to him an image of himself that strokes his ego, making him feel like every aspect of her existence revolves around him. But beneath that facade, there's no real connection, no genuine warmth. She's playing the role, fitting into the mold that benefits him, but only as long as it serves her purpose. She's not a partner. She's a reflection of the very system that keeps both of them locked in a cycle of exploitation and illusion. Wow, and okay. It's interesting here because I'm getting the devil card here, and it fits perfectly with the energy we're tapping into. This person, this false empath, knows exactly how to play the game. She's fully aware that this is how she earns her bread and butter, so she's going to play the role to perfection. She might present herself in a way that makes him think, this is a real woman, but the truth is, she doesn't care about him at all. We've looked at this energy before, the manipulation, the exploitation. It's all part of what we're dealing with here. And yes, we're talking about traits often associated with the dark triad: narcissism, Machiavellianism, psychopathy. Now, I'm not diagnosing anyone. That's not what we're doing here, and I'm not qualified to make those kinds of assessments. This isn't about labeling someone clinically. But what we are seeing is someone who likely exhibits these dark traits, someone who is far from being nice, sweet, or caring. The Devil card reinforces this. It's a powerful symbol of temptation, manipulation, and being bound to unhealthy patterns. This person is operating from a place of deep shadow, and it's important to recognize that. All right, I'm getting the Justice card here, and it's spot on for this situation. If he does take the time to reflect, he's going to realize, oh, that wasn't truly authentic. He's facing a mirror in her, and it's revealing some hard truths. There's a disconnect between her actions and the values she claims to uphold, something that, when he looks back, will be glaringly obvious, maybe even something that happened over and over again. Her words, thoughts, and actions weren't in alignment, and that's a red flag you can't ignore. All right, I'm pulling the Ten of Swords here, and it's resonating deeply with this situation. This card represents a painful ending, but also the potential for rebirth after hitting rock bottom. This obstacle in the divine masculine's life has been exploiting him, and it's been the source of his downfall. It's like a blockage, like a clamp on a tube that's supposed to carry water freely. Only here, it's choking the flow. This is what's been preventing him from experiencing healthy, fulfilling relationships, from living the life he truly desires, and from aligning with the woman of his dreams. So here's the thing, you can see these karmic lessons playing out in his life. He was always destined to encounter women who would surprise him, who would challenge his narrow views and defy the categories he's tried to place them in. Some of these surprises come in beautiful, healthy ways that open his heart, while others might catch him off guard and shake up his world in ways that feel uncomfortable. maybe even causing him to miss out on opportunities, or sometimes push him toward new ones. But when we look at these two major figures in his life, the true soulmate who's genuine and loving, and the dark soulmate who's a karmic lesson in disguise, you can see the same lesson being offered. He's being called to challenge his worldview, to grow beyond the limited perspective he's been clinging to, and most importantly, to learn respect. Here's the twist, though. I see a point coming where he's going to get things mixed up. He might start putting the karmic, the one who couldn't care less about him, up on a pedestal, while demonizing the true soulmate, the one who actually loves him. He's going to misunderstand her actions, project his own unresolved issues onto her, and in doing so, he's going to flip the script entirely. This is a man who doesn't yet understand his own heart, and until he does, he's at risk of losing sight of what's real and what's just a reflection of his fears and insecurities. Now, I'm hearing that if he gets involved with this dark person, he's going to learn the hard way why it was never right. He's going to have that moment of realization like, oh wow, it was actually really suspicious that you just let me get away with everything. These two might even have an unspoken agreement where he can do whatever he wants, but it's not out of love or care. It's because she doesn't care about him at all. She's completely uninvested, indifferent. It doesn't bother her in the slightest what he does, because her heart isn't in it. He's going to have to reframe everything he thought he knew. What he mistook for endless love is actually just her indifference. She might even have disdain for him, viewing him as weak, and in her mind, that weakness justifies her mistreatment. She might see men as less than her, deserving of exploitation because they can't control themselves. She could take everything from him if she wants to, and he'd be none the wiser until it's too late. The dynamic here is completely different. There's no genuine connection, only a cold, calculated agenda. Now, maybe you feel smaller around this divine masculine. Maybe you sense what he wants from you, and it's clear he's trying to fit you into one category or another. Perhaps you've both been shaped by similar conditioning, the same old patterns that try to limit who you are, but for you to be truly healthy, happy, and aligned with your highest path, the universe is stepping in. They're no longer allowing him to be on his highest path if it means you're not on yours. He needs to step up and be a real partner, or you're going to discover that there's so much more out there for you. Connections that are truly fulfilling, with people who see and treat you as the whole complex person you are. If he's been mean to you, made you feel second-rate, or violently ripped you from one category and shoved you into another, instead of stepping back and saying, maybe I need to rethink the way I'm viewing life. Maybe this is a woman who stands in her fullness, and that's something I should honor and encourage. Then he's probably regretting doing that now. He's beginning to understand that he wasn't seeing you clearly, or this other person clearly. He's starting to get it. He's starting to understand. I think he's in the early stages of this realization, but it's not your responsibility to notice how he's processing. You shouldn't have to approach him carefully or avoid certain words just to manage his emotions. The universe doesn't want you anywhere near that kind of dynamic. He needs to figure this out on his own. He needs to become a full partner, capable of processing for himself, and someone who finds it worthwhile to be a conscious, fully functioning individual. Thank you so much for watching, beautiful souls. I know today's reading was a bit of a mix, with different energies coming through and a bit more free-flowing than usual, but I hope it resonated with you. Sometimes the messages just come out in a more random way, and I have to trust that it's exactly what someone out there needs to hear. If you like this style, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with anyone who might need to hear it. Your support means the world to me, and it helps keep the energy flowing between us. Until next time, take care and stay aligned with your highest path.